All right. Hello. We are two recent Ranger grads who obviously we just went through Ranger school. The timeline of when we went is that we started in the winter and we kind of graduated in the winter as well. So kind of in that winter time frame. And the reason why that's important to bring up is that's going to change your packing list. That's going to change, honestly, how your timeline during the day looks. And honestly, it'll change food sometimes. It'll change how the instructors teach. There's a lot of factors that come into us going through the winter. So just keep that in mind when we're going through this packing list. But I guess I'll identify myself. I'm like Ranger 1.
I'll be Ranger 2 for this.
Something important to note is that we were together in Florida, but we were in different squads throughout Darby and Mountain. But with that in mind, we just so you know that it's not like we got shifted around or anything, or we did get shifted around. So the squads will change. No fault of your own. You will get switched potentially different squads and potentially different companies as you move through the Ranger School house.
Especially if your platoon loses a lot of people by peers or patrols or spots, then you'll probably get shifted to a different platoon.
Yep. So this first video, we're just going to kind of identifying stuff that we recommend you go out and get to kind of prep yourself and getting ready for going to Ranger School. The first thing I thought this was really important was getting some good knee pads. The brand that I recommend is that they're called Arc'teryx knee pads, and they have a very distinct shape. It kind of looks like an omega symbol upside down. Honestly, if you can't get those, any knee pad that you bring with you, what I recommend is that you get some yoga mats. Take a yoga mat, cut out the shape of the knee pad, and then use some shoe glue or super glue and glue that on the inside of your knee pad, because that's going to just add that extra cushioning to kind of protect your knees as you're going through the course. And so I'm not sure what your experience was.
100%. I went and bought Arc'teryx on Darby Pass and put inserts in them. For Darby Mountains, you will be on a knee a lot. Florida, not so much, and there's a lot of sand down there, so I didn't even bring them on the 10-day FTX, but in Darby and Mountains, you are going to want them.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like same thing for me. Did not use them at all in Florida. The ground down there. I've never really been to Florida before. It's like all sand, so you really don't need knee pads. The next thing, and this list is kind of probably could be ordered a lot more, but this is just the general list. The next thing we had is you can go out to stores, especially around Fort Moore, and you can find a little wrist compass. Now, the reason why the wrist compass is nice is that while you're doing any patrolling, if you're a team leader, and even if you're a Joe, you're going to have to be pulling security. And that means identifying your sectors of fire, which the instructors want to know if you know what your azimuths are for the sectors of fire. And so for me, having that wrist compass was really nice, because instead of having to find like my actual military compass and get it out of the pouch, I could just look up real quick, identify those numbers, and then I can just put my wrist back down. And I'm not sure if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, this helps, especially for team leaders, but also if you're Joe and somebody hasn't come and give you an azimuth real quick, you can give yourself hasty sectors, and so that way when the RIs come over and ask you, you have something to say instead of just, no, they haven't given it to me yet, because that's going to reflect poorly on your squad leader.
Yep, 100%.